Sarush, before we start with complex cube roots of unity, do you remember the two properties which I had shared? There were two properties of complex cube roots of unity. One is omega cube is equal to 1, and second 1 plus omega square is
Omega square
0.
is 0.
ठीक है, चलो, we'll take this first question, which is a very basic, simple question. If omega is imaginary cube root of unity, then 1 plus omega minus omega square the whole square equals to dash. See, what do we know about 1 plus omega? From
This
this
is equal to
formula,
omega square.
yeah, it's minus omega square. So we can write 1 plus omega is minus omega square, and this is minus omega square, the whole square. So Arish, this will now become minus 2 omega square, the whole square, which is minus 2 the whole square, omega square, the whole square. So this is 4 omega raised to 4.
Yeah.
Now in omega questions, Arush will always try to convert the powers of omega in terms of omega cube. From omega raised to 4, we will try to get omega cube. And you tell me omega raised to 4 is omega into which term? Omega cube into which
2
term?
omega.
Into omega. Correct. We are doing this simply because omega cube is 1. So the answer
Yeah.
is 4 omega. That's the answer. Easy?
Yes. Yeah.
Write this and you try the second one on your own.
Yeah.
So check the second one, Arush.
Yes.
We have 1 minus omega square. Now 1 plus omega raised to 4, did you write it as omega cube into omega? And omega raised to 8 is omega
Yes.
cube and omega square.
Into omega square. Yeah.
And wherever we have omega cube, we can write 1. So now we have
1.
the first two brackets are copied. Third bracket is now 1 plus omega, and this is 1 plus omega square.
Yes.
And then if you realize this is a plus b into a minus b, so these two brackets will now become a square minus b square, which is 1 minus omega square.
Yeah.
ठीक है, बाकी हम कॉपी करेंगे. So we have 1 minus omega square and we have 1 plus omega square, and this also in fact can be written as a formula.
Yes.
So we have 1 minus omega square, and the last two brackets will become 1 minus omega raised to 4. So this is 1 minus omega square. This will be 1 minus omega cube into omega. So
Yeah.
Arush, you should get 1 minus omega square into 1 minus omega. अब इसको पूरा expand करना पड़ेगा Arush. So 1 will be multiplied with both. We get 1 minus omega. Then minus omega square will be multiplied with both. So this is plus omega cube. So now Arush, we have 1. From here I am taking minus common, so that bracket is omega plus omega square, and this is 1. And do you realize, Arush, omega plus omega square is minus 1?
Minus 1. Yeah.
So 3 should be the final answer.
Yes.
ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट थर्ड वाला लेते हैं. थर्ड सम एक्चुअली डज नॉट बिलोंग टू. अच्छा, you're writing this? Yeah.
method में सही.
So the next sum, Arush, that we have, find the real part of cos of 1 plus I. This sum actually has got nothing to do with cube roots of unity. ये actually इस exercise में नहीं होना चाहिए. This is, see, this is cos of 1 plus I. Cos मतलब ये actually polar form से related है. The polar form and Euler's form, if you remember.
Yeah.
So basically what is the scene? If you remember that formula, e raised to iz is
I.
cos z plus I sin z. If you remember this, the Euler's form and polar form का एक relation मैंने बताया था. Because in Euler's form we write r e raised to I theta, and in polar form we have r bracket cos theta plus I sin theta. So e raised to I theta is as good as cos theta plus I sin theta. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now Arush, let's understand how will we get cos z ka value from here, because we are focusing only on cos for this question. So sin ka actually काम नहीं है इस sum में. So what to do is we will replace iz with minus iz. Okay, I'm replacing z with minus z basically everywhere. Like replacing z with minus z everywhere. Now you tell me what is sine of minus z?
Sine theta.
Minus sine theta. So this will
Sorry,
be
minus
minus
sine
I
theta. हाँ,
sin z. तो ये हमें e raised to minus iz का वैल्यू मिला. Now if e raised to iz I call it as equation 1, e raised to minus iz as equation 2. Just add the two equations and tell me,
हाँ,
Arush, what will we get?
e raised to iz plus e
2
raised to
e raised to,
minus iz 2
नहीं
raised
2
to
नहीं, sorry 2 नहीं,
नहीं
e raised
आता
to
ना सर
iz
plus e raised to
plus e
minus
raised
iz
to minus iz is equal to 2 cos z,
plus 2 cos z. Yeah,
and this is getting cut when you add the two equations.
yeah,
So from here, Arush, we'll get the value of cos z. Cos z is e raised to iz plus e raised to minus iz upon 2. This is the value of cos z. Are you
yeah.
following this?
Yes, sir.
But what is z in this question? So z is this 1 plus I.
Hmm.
So now I'll replace z with 1 plus I everywhere. So the right hand side will be e raised to
1 plus 1 plus
e raised to I into 1 plus
I
I
or
plus e raised to minus I into 1
minus
plus I
1 plus
the whole upon 2.
2.
Chalo, now let us solve this. So we have to open the brackets first. This will be e raised to I minus 1 लिख रहा हूँ because it's I square Arush. So this will be I
Yeah,
minus 1, and then we have plus e raised to minus I minus I
1
square, so 1 minus I the whole
1
upon
minus.
2. Are you following this?
Yes, sir.
देखो इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए see we have e raised to I minus 1 and e raised to 1 minus I. We can write this as half of we can write this as half of e raised to I into e raised to minus 1 plus e raised to 1 into e raised to minus I the whole upon 2, or 2 तो हो गया. So now to solve this further, Arush, एक मिनट Arush, I think there is some mistake. Arush इसका चेक करना पड़ेगा. I think it should be 1 minus I. There is a mistake in the question. This should be 1 minus I. Do you have any solution or do they mention the mistakes anywhere? Answers के वहाँ पे
No.
लिखा होता है क्या mistakes या कुछ?
Right.
चेक कर जरा इसका आंसर क्या रहा है. There is some mistake in the question. This should be 1 minus I. 1 plus I
1
solvable नहीं
plus
होगा.
1 plus e square by 2e cos 1.
So there is a mistake. It is supposed to be cos of 1 minus I. एक मिनट रुक. Let me just check.
हाँ,
So if we again use the Euler's form here, Arush, see we have this is e raised to minus 1 upon 2, मतलब 1 upon 2e into e raised to 0 plus 1i plus we have e upon 2 into e raised to 0 minus 1i. I'm writing it in this form because we will now be using this form again. See, we can write e raised to iz Arush as cos z plus I sin z. So this will be cos of 1 plus I sin of 1.
yeah,
And the second part will be cos of minus 1, but cos of negative is positive, so I'm writing positive 1
Hmm.
plus I sin of minus 1. Now sin of negative 1 will be minus
minus
sin of 1.
I sub.
Okay. and in the question they have asked us the real part मतलब सिर्फ ये दो parts जिसमें I नहीं है. So from this we can take half common, तो ब्रैकेट में आएगा cos 1 upon e, so it's basically 1 upon e आरुष plus e into cos 1. इसको फिर एलसीएम लेके सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा आरुष. तो इसका फाइनल आंसर होगा when you take LCM you will get e square plus 1 upon 2e into cos 1. This will be the final answer. Check this out.
Awesome.
Done?
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah, right.
We are done with it.
So let us take the fifth one first. Simple है, थोड़ा मेहनत है. You have to expand each bracket. So go ahead, Arush, just expand each bracket. And then you have to simplify using the properties. Wherever you have omega cube, you can write 1. Wherever you have 1 plus omega square equal to 0 wala property, you can use that also. So expand this and first tell me what are you getting?
Minus 2 तीसरा.
Okay, so Arush, check this. First bracket will be x square plus y square plus 2xy. Second will be x square omega square plus y square omega raised to 4 plus x square omega raised to 4 plus y square omega square. और यहाँ पे ये भी आएगा 2xy ओमेगा क्यूब और यहाँ पे भी आएगा 2xy ओमेगा क्यूब. Okay, so now Arush, we have, see, from the three terms where x square is there, we can take x square common.
Yeah.
तो ब्रैकेट में क्या आएगा 1 plus omega square, and omega raised to 4 is nothing but omega.
Yeah.
Now those terms where y square is common, there we can take y common, so terms left will be 1
Yes.
sorry, so it will be 1 plus omega raised to 4 को मैंने omega लिख दिया, and from here we have omega square, and other than this we are left with 6xy. अब ये 0 आंसर is 6xy.
Yeah.
Question 4. This time
I'm sending it out images.
Okay.
Yeah, now.
So this fourth question, Arush, is basically based on, it's not cube root of unity because cube root of unity 3 होता है और यहाँ पे 4 numbers है. So this is about fourth root of unity. So first solve this equation, Arush, and find all the possible roots. See, x raised to 4 minus 1 can be written as x square minus 1 into x square plus 1. It's basically a square minus b square formula, right? So a plus b into a minus b. So when we equate this bracket with 0, we will get x square is 1. Second bracket, x square is equal to minus 1. Now when x is 1, x square is 1, x is plus minus 1. And here x is plus minus I, because minus 1 hoga, which is I. So these are the 4 roots of this equation.
Yes.
अब देखो यहाँ पे सब्स्टिट्यूट कर देते हैं सब कुछ. x we have omega square minus x1 मतलब first root of this. What is the first root? If we take the first root as minus 1. नहीं, 1 तो already question में mentioned है. So x1, x2, x3 is not 1. So I am taking x1 as minus 1. तो ये plus 1 हो जाएगा. Next, we have omega square minus x2 to omega square minus I. Third is omega square minus x3 plus I. Are you following this?
Yeah.
Upon omega minus x1 to omega plus 1. This is omega minus x2, so omega minus I. And last is omega plus I. Check this. Are you following this?
Yeah.
How can you try this?
Yes, sir.
I think you will get it. कर solve कर आ जाना
Yeah.
चाहिए.
Uh,
चलो, so check this, Arush. You should get, see, omega square plus 1 is minus omega.
minus.
This is expansion formula a plus b into a minus b, which will become
Yeah.
a square
Omega
minus
is to
b
minus
square.
I square.
This is minus omega square, and this is also expansion formula omega square minus I square. अब ये माइनस माइनस कट होगा, एक ओमेगा कट होगा, so we will be left with 1 upon omega. This will be omega plus 1 and this will be omega square plus 1. बराबर?
Yeah.
So we now have omega plus 1. नीचे है ना ब्रैकेट्स एक्सपांड कर देते हैं, तो ओमेगा क्यूब प्लस ओमेगा आ जाएगा, एंड ओमेगा क्यूब इज 1. तो ऊपर नीचे सेम आ रहा है, 1 should be our answer. What did you get, by the way?
Yes.
What did you get?
Sir, I got one, but थोड़ा छोटा PS.
Next question 6. ये रूट 3 और ये 2 देख के कुछ याद आ रहा है आरुष? Can you recollect anything?
So sin 60 याद आ रहा है, root 3/2.
Works. Correct. So basically every complex number is of this form cos theta plus I sin theta.
Yeah.
Root 3/2 sin 60 nahi, but cos of which angle is root 3/2? Can you tell me that?
Cos 30. So cos 30
Correct.
plus cos 30 plus I sin 30.
Right.